Hey everyone, it's Casimus Lego, and I'm very happy to be showing you my newest figures from the HBO Max television adaptation of The Last of Us, with the two figures, of course, being Joel Miller and Ellie Williams. And for me, I was very excited to make these two again. I think everyone has had a chance to make them when the original game released in 2013, and I'm no exception. I've made several versions of these guys in the past, and what makes this duo very special is that they're based off of the appearances from the live-action TV show. Just to mention it briefly, I very much enjoyed the show. I was extremely impressed by just how faithful it was to the original game. I thought even some of the changes that were introduced enhanced that story, so I'm very glad to have played my part by presenting these characters as custom LEGO minifigures. I did just make these two. I don't have any interest in making any of the other characters, so this should be a rather quick showcase video, but there's still a bunch of stuff to get into, so now let's take a closer look at each of these figures. We'll first take a look at Joel Miller. I was very excited to see Pedro Pascal as the character when he was cast, and I'm very happy to report that he did not disappoint. His performance was absolutely perfect, so in turn, I was quite thrilled to kick off the new year with this custom minifigure, and to start, we'll talk about the custom painted face I made for him, and I would say that I nailed this one. It bears a striking resemblance to Pascal in the show. He's got the mustache and the beard, his eyes have that natural angle to them, and he's also got various wrinkles to show his age. There's also that scar by his eye, which is just a simple red line. As I said before, this face is really great looking, and I'm quite proud of it. Of course, the face looks even better when paired with this third-party hairpiece by LeYiLeBricks. I think that's how you pronounce the name. If not, I apologize. I know you can purchase this piece and many other unique hairpieces from a number of sites, but I got this one from Firestar Toys. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested in getting one for yourself. I think they look really good, especially for Joel here. The basic outfit was pretty fun to make. The shirt design beneath that jacket was completely painted on the torso and the top of the waist piece. You can see how that design extends onto both elements. It's just something that I think looks better on minifigures when you're painting basic shirts. It just looks a little bit more natural this way. The jacket is pretty standard. It's a custom-made fabric jacket, of course, this time in a dark beige color with some lighter brown highlights to distinguish the front pockets and some other details. Towards the upper half there, the bottom of the pockets are painted, and then that part that folds over is a fabric 3D piece just to make it pop out a little bit more without going crazy with the 3D elements. It's very simple. And finally, there are shirt buttons, or latches if you prefer, on the sides of the coat painted in gold and copper colors. The backpack straps are also 3D fabric, and I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. I like how they are positioned on the figure. It's much better than gluing them to the sides of the jacket if you ask me. It's just way more realistic this way. I've got the necessary details painted on there. My favorites are the gold buckles. Those were tiny details to paint. No flashlight, however. I didn't give one to Ellie either. I just felt like leaving them out here. Continuing on to the arms, they are extremely straightforward, painted in the same color as the jacket. Both arms have a custom glove top. The right arm is just a simple extension of the jacket, and then on the left arm is a little bit more of an important detail. It's the broken wristwatch. This time it's painted in a green English ivy, and then the watch itself is sculpted and painted slightly. I wasn't able to do a whole lot of work there, but I at least tried to depict one of the claw cans and also the giant crack in it. Legs are also fairly simple. I painted them in pavement to keep that muted look that the show has. No wrinkles or anything like that, but the sides have some 3D elements in the form of these incredibly simple holster details. The boots are nicely painted with a standard design. They were much simpler to paint than Ellie's, I'll say that, and I'll explain why, of course, when we get there, but I suppose I should say keeping the sore line straight was fairly tricky as always. When we turn the figure around, we'll take a look at the backpack, which is fully sculpted, and I wasn't really looking forward to making this. I wanted to use a 3D cast, but I got lazy and never bothered to do the research to get an accurate one, so I decided to make it myself. And I guess sculpting it really wasn't the problem, it's that painting it was pretty frustrating. Keeping the paint clean and doing the lines for the patches were pretty annoying. The light brown paint that I had was so scratchy and full of those little chips of dried paint, but thankfully I was able to get it done. There was no way I was going to leave off his backpack. I sculpted all the various pockets, pouches, and fasteners. I came right off of making all of those Samwise Gamgee backpacks, so in comparison this was much simpler to make. I didn't come up with a way to attach its accessories. I'm sure it's fairly easy to do, but I didn't care all that much. So speaking of which, Joel has two accessories, both major weapons used in The Last of Us Part 1. He's armed with the revolver, which is a snub nose from Brick Arms, and I painted the gunmetal coat and silver highlights to the cylinder. Additionally, the grip is painted in a light brown. The other accessory is the shotgun rifle, which is a modified M1903A4 Army sniper rifle that I painted with the various silver and gunmetal gray highlights and the dark brown stock. This project is the second that I've done where I've started to glue the accessories directly into the hands themselves, so you cannot remove them. Everything is glossed and clean, so no paint will be scraping off, which is a huge relief for me. But with all that said, that's about everything that I think must be said for this custom Joel minifigure from the HBO Max production of The Last of Us. I'm so happy I was finally able to make him. And then, of course, here is Ellie Williams, and in my opinion, she was the best part of the show. I really liked Bella Ramsey's performance, and I thought she did a great job bringing that character to life, and I made this figure as she appears in the first few episodes of the show with the dark red hoodie and the gray and purple long sleeve shirt, and though you don't see the long sleeves, the gray shirt is visible, and I think it looks pretty good. Overall, I'm quite pleased with the final outcome. I really like the gritty tone of the figure. A similar visual theme is on Joel as well. So the jeans are both that pavement color, and the color that is there, I think, contrasts very nicely. So for example, the backpack straps are painted in a dark blue with the light tan wraps. There is even some thin stripes painted to add that wrap effect. The red jacket hoodie also looks really nice. As always, it's a custom fabric jacket. There's a silver zipper line down each of the edges, and the hoodie straps are from a string if my memory serves me right. It was pretty tedious gluing those two into place and then allowing the folded edges to lie on top. It wasn't very difficult to achieve that look in theory, but in practice I had to be very patient to allow the glue to settle in place. But when all that was said and done, I painted them in red and I really like it. Continuing with the jacket, the arms are very simple, painted in the same dark red color, and then taking a look at the back, Ellie's backpack was fully sculpted and painted in the various dark green and blue colors. There's a few different sculpted layers on this thing, including the extruding pockets on either side, the front pouches, the loop at the top, and some pins that are sculpted in various places. I thought Ellie's backpack turned out a bit better than Joel's. There's just less stuff going on, and I think it turned out a bit more accurate because it's not as intense in detail. Also, I really like that gold pin. It's a clean and distinct shape. For the legs, I went with the medium short legs instead of the standard short legs so that I could take some more dynamic poses with the figure. As I've said before, I really like the dual tone of the legs, and the sneakers look great here too, and they're a little bit more complex with Joel's, as I said, just because of the sort of sneaker design. The white was also a difficult thing to paint, and then the straps above them were not easy as always. Ellie's head is actually Sabine Wren's head from 2015. When I first saw the casting of Bella Ramsey for Ellie, I thought that specifically the aggressive expression really resembles the actress, and even the alternate expression works great too, although I would have liked to repaint the mouth on this side. Still, I decided to use both, and I simply repainted the eyebrows in dark brown and cut slits into Ellie's right eyebrow on both sides of the expression. Topping off the figure is the modified Ray hairpiece. It has a great likeness in the front, and all I had to do was sculpt the wavy hair strands and cut off Ray's hair buns to make more room for the sculpted ponytail. I shaped and smoothed everything over, except for this side of the hair, which unfortunately broke off while I was sculpting it. I glued it back together, but it's still a little bit wonky, but either way, everything is painted in dark brown. Now that we've taken a look at the figure itself, we can finish up by looking at Ellie's accessories. She has a basic M1911 pistol from Brick Arms that I painted in a metallic black and sealed over, and then she also has her knife, which is a standard Lego element that I painted silver. It's very simple. I would have liked to do more detail to it, but I've already had this accessory done, so I thought I might as well just give it to Ellie. As I said in the intro of this video, these two iconic characters were so much fun to revisit as they were depicted in the HBO Max show, and with all of those details discussed, that's it for these two figures, and we'll go ahead and finish up. Alright, that was everything I had for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I'll have links to the custom accessories mentioned in the video so you can check them out for yourself and use them for your own custom LEGO minifigures if you wish. I'll also have links to my social media platforms where I'll have announcements about what projects are coming up next. I encourage you to follow me there if you want to stay up to date on what my future plans are. But that's it for this video. It's a very quick one, but I'm going to get back to work on some other stuff. I'll see you next time. See ya.